All right, here, Michi. Well, this is my first video walkthrough. Just thought I would give you a little walk through the shop here. You might kind of like to see, what's coming out of here next. Little VIP sneak peek. Something a little different than normal. 68 Charger, 426 Hemi, big block. Candy apple red, 58. A couple here that are ready to go in the paint booth. 67, I think that one's going to Saudi Arabia. Turquoise hood stripe, turquoise interior, gonna be pretty cool. One of our employees has got his daughter's car in here working on it. My 63 split window. Building the exhaust and stuff for it. Right now, it's pretty wild. 70 Nova, also going to Saudi Arabia. And 66 Mustang. And the next line of assembled and tested chassis and bodies ready to go in the paint booth. These are ready for the painted bodies to go in there. So that's kind of a walk around. Then there's the dirty body shop, but I don't ever video that because it's not fun to look at. And then there's yours. So this thing is ready to rock and roll. I have the key fob in my pocket here. That has your trunk key. Trunk keys on it. And of course you get the push button start. And then you have, you don't have a power trunk, so that button doesn't do anything. But you do have lock, unlock, and lock. So lights flash, tell you, across the parking lot if you locked or unlocked your car. You can also, see if I can do this one-handed. You can hold down the trunk pop and the lock button. For remote start. And then I just hold them down again to kill the remote start. So I'm not pushing anything as I walk up to the car. You heard the doors unlock, so it senses the fob. So this can be in your pocket. I'll just do kind of a little walk around here to show you how nice this car is. As you know, everything is redone on this. The insane black diamond paint, all the chrome. It's all Ogden chrome, best you can get in the United States. Obviously the Starline Morin Giles leather interior, the darker red that you asked for, the Arctic white coves, all the stainless and everything has been redone, brand new everything. The hubcap wheels with those ginormous brakes. Fuel injection badging. With that nice deep lip wheel, even with the independent rear suspension, which is pretty special. Everything fits perfectly. The seats follow the trim perfectly. All custom built, no gaps, extra leg room. Brought you down about 2 inches, brought you back about 3 inches. So now just kind of gonna go through some of the things as I walk around the car and point out. So kind of start here in the front. Pretty self-explanatory here. Opening and closing the hood. You have a power hood. So we're going to open this up, and forgive my dusty footprints because I've been driving this thing, but right here on the front of this panel is a 3-button panel. Okay. All I have to do is push the button one time. The heights are preset. You do not hold the button down. If you hold the button down, it will reprogram it. So the one all the way to the right is to open the hood completely. The one in the middle is kind of a show height. If you got it out somewhere, it looks a little nicer with the hood about right there, rather than all the way up. And then the bottom button is going to close everything up. That's all you got to do. So we'll open this back up. Got your other engine cover right here. I'm about to put it on. That's the last piece to go on the car. So in the engine compartment, we've got your plaque there with your Japan's first Specvette as requested. And power steering reservoir. Okay, all that's been checked. Brake master cylinder. All that's been topped off and filled. Radiator cap is going to be right there. All that's been tested. This thing runs very, very cool. For an LS engine, it's pretty typical. I'm not sure what it is in Celsius, but in Fahrenheit, they usually run about 210, 215. That's completely normal for these engines. You've got electric fans, so that's all pre-programmed to come on at the correct temperatures and go off at the correct temperatures. AC compressor here, all that stuff's been leak tested. Underneath this cover, so this cover, you just grab on right here and it just pops right off. Underneath that cover, the oil fill is going to be right here. Some of these LS3s, they have a little provision here for the cap, and it's not too pretty. So we like these covers better that have that smoothed out. They were the dry sump motor covers for the Grand Sports. So it makes it look a little nicer and cleaner, but you just pop that cover off, and then to fill the oil, there is a cap right underneath there. Transmission dipstick is right here. All that has been topped off, and then your engine oil dipstick is right here. All that has been topped off as well. All your fluids have been changed. After we did all of the road testing, we put about 200 kilometers on it, made sure everything was perfect, adjusted everything that needed adjusting, and then we changed all of your fluids. So your break-in fluids and all that are not in this car anymore. They have been taken out, and your regular cruising fluids have been put in. So you are ready to go. Let's go around to the trunk. On the trunk, you have the keys on the key fob. No squeaky springs like it had originally. It's got nice gas shocks that hold the trunk up very nicely. And then everything in here has been finished out to match your interior. Kind of use the same shapes as the door panels in the panel in the back. All right, all these panels come out. So all these panels come out here, and it's fully maintenanceable in the back. All this is brand new. You can see every single screw, nut, bolt, everything. A little horsehair there to make that look a little nicer. And then your nice shut, and she is latched. Let's see, next thing. Okay, when you're opening the convertible top cover, all right, all you do is you unsnap these on both sides, which I have already done since I'm here by myself. And then you're gonna push this button right here, and that is gonna pop this cover up. This also has the gas shocks on it, so everything is gonna go up nice and quiet. And you have the soft top in here. You have the sparkle speaker cover, I guess you could call it. Your subwoofer is actually underneath that one. All your electronics are underneath here. This allows the electronics, the modules, you can see flashing underneath there. There you go. That allows air to get in there so that those don't get too hot. All that can ventilate. And we match that to your speaker cover there. This is the only car that I will ever put the diamond speaker material on because it matches the paint job. But to put this convertible top up, it is really hard for one person to do it. I'm not going to attempt it by myself. But two people can easily do it. If I had both hands, I could do it, but I'm holding this phone, so I don't. Your latches right here, all right, right there you have a pin. When you put this top up, that pin goes in this hole, and this latch right here, that little hook, goes on the bottom side of this. There's a notch there. So when you bring the convertible top over, you want to line those guide pins up right into there, and then your latches, when you tighten them or buckle them, they will hook underneath there. Always make sure when you close the deck lid here that you have these pushed down. Like if you go to put the soft top down, don't leave them up like that. They will hit your cover, your deck lid. So always make sure that the top is pushed down all the way and that these are flipped down. Okay, underneath, when you have the soft top out, this cover right here is removable. You can see there's some screws here. There's one down here in the corner. So there's 4 across the front and there's 3 across the back when you pull the soft top out. And then that cover will come off if you ever need to access your fuse panel, any of your Dakota Digital modules, any of that stuff. All that is hidden underneath there. We didn't just stick stuff all over the car like everybody else does. It is all underneath this panel here. If you ever need to get to that, hopefully you won't. But if you do, that's how you get to that stuff. Closing the deck lid, obviously make sure your latches and everything are down and the top is pushed down. And then you just give it a push, okay? Glove box is right here. This is so hard to do with one hand, right there. And the key for that is right here when you want to lock it. Walking around the back, you got the LED tail lights built in. The original bumper exhaust holes are now backup lights. So we can't bring 2.5-inch exhaust for that LS3 all the way back and then dumb it down to like a 1-inch pipe here. It would mess the back pressures all up and the engine would run badly. So we hide the exhaust exits up underneath the car. Just they're right there. You don't smell gas or anything like that. And then also it doesn't turn your bumpers black like the originals did. So then we have these slots here. So we went in here and we put in the backup lights. So you got white LED, really bright white LED backup lights, which you did not have in 1958. So those didn't come around until 1967. So now you have functioning reverse lights. I think that's it on the outside of the car. We're going to see most of the stuff you're needing to know in the inside of the car. Okay, so let's get in here, close our hood up. Snap our little pieces right there. Your original VIN tag, which I ran over the polisher and cleaned it all up nice, is right there in the door jamb where it should be. All of that matches. All the panels have all been custom made. These are not like aftermarket repops. These are made from scratch so that everything fits perfectly. See how that follows that door? They didn't even do that in 1958. So everything's redone, all the chrome, everything fits perfect. These aren't even actually the original, these raised pieces here. We actually made those because the originals were so thick and ugly. So we redid those too. All right, seat belts out of the way. The keys in my pocket. Okay, now I am 6'2" and 280 pounds, and I can drive this thing very comfortably. So we have some shorter guys here in the shop. They get in, they can also drive it very comfortably. This is my eye line. In an original Corvette, my eye line is probably about right there. So this is so much nicer than the originals were. So let's just kind of go around the interior. All right. So first thing right off the bat you see is your push button start is illuminated. All right. So when we walked up to the car, the doors unlocked, and when they did, it activated this button, so it starts glowing. When I walk away from the cars, the doors are going to automatically lock, and this ring, this halo, is going to go out, which means if I push the push button start, it's not going to do anything. Okay, so right now it will start the car. All right, so let's do that first. Kind of the most important thing is how you start the car. So procedure for starting the car is, I'm not pushing the brake. You don't have a clutch because you have an automatic. I'm not pushing the brake, and I am going to push that button 1 time, 2 times. That's going to bring the car alive. You're in accessory mode. The fuel pump cycled. It is ready to go. Okay. Now, when I put my foot on the brake pedal, that button is going to start flashing. All right. That means it is ready to start. All I got to do is push and let go. And then with my foot on the brake, I hold the button down and it kills it. Okay, now foot off the brake, and there we go. Now, you're like, oh my gosh, that's quite a procedure. That's just the way these push buttons are. Now, if I walk in and I put my foot on the brake right off the bat and I hold it, it will start the car. Okay. But in doing that, it doesn't allow time for the fuel pump to cycle and things like that should really happen. And so it may turn over a few more times. Now, it didn't that time because I just started it. But if the car's been sitting for a little bit and I go in there and I don't follow the tap procedure, I just get in and push and hold the button down, then it will start the car, but it may turn over a few times before it does because the fuel pump hasn't got to cycle correctly. Okay. You also notice I have to like hold the button down when I do it that way. By far, best way to do it is 1 push, 2 push, fuel pump cycles, gauges sweep, foot on the brake, it's flashing. All I gotta do is push it and let off. And then hold it just like that. Okay. It works flawlessly. The whole system is fantastic. Yes, you can get in and just hold the button down and it will bypass the brake pedal. It will do all that. You just have to hold the button down instead of just pushing it, and it may turn over a few times. So really it's kind of foolproof, but I've shown you the right way to do it. So up to you how you want to do it. Okay, let's run through a couple things. All right, gauges. They are metric as you requested, so kilometers, temperature is in Celsius. I think everything else is pretty much the same for us Americans over here. You can see even your digital one here is kilometers, and you've got 190 kilometers on the odometer, and that's what we put on for testing. Now, there is a 2-way button right here. There's a left side and there's a right side. What that does is that is going to cycle you through all your different menus. Okay, those buttons are used. So let's say if I want to go here and I'm going to delete that, then I just hold that down and then it's going to delete that trip. Okay, volts, fuel. So I can go, obviously if I hold it down here, it's not going to clear your odometer. But those buttons right there is how you do anything on your gauges. There is also a Bluetooth app that Dakota Digital has that you can pair your phone with these gauges, and you can change colors, you can change the different menus like that you would cycle through here. So you can really go in there and customize everything exactly how you want it. All right. Those buttons are going to do everything that have to do with your gauges, and then you also have that Bluetooth app that you can download and then really get in there and get crazy with how you want to customize everything. If you want the gauges red or blue or whatever, you can change needle colors, you can change everything. All that stuff is in there. Cell phone charging right here. So you've got your USBs here to plug in to charge your phone. This is where the cigarette lighter was. We didn't figure anybody's going to smoke cigarettes in these cars. So that is there to charge your phone. Also, if you have a thumb drive that has like FLAC files or any kind of high definition music, you can plug that in right there and it goes directly into your stereo system. Wipers and headlights. So wipers are modern now. These had like cables that ran them originally. Now it's on a lever system. So instead of like pulling these old cable things out now, you just turn it. I'm not going to do it because the windshield's dry and I don't want to scratch the windshield. But you just turn that thing clockwise and it has the different speeds for your wipers. I highly doubt you're going to drive this car in the rain. Don't think anybody really ever has, but you never know if you get caught out in a rainstorm or something that you can do that. Pushing that button and holding it is going to spray the washer fluid. You do have the washer nozzles out there, which were actually an option on these cars, and we made sure that you had those. All right, headlights. So on the headlights, you actually have the little sensor on the dash, the little eyeball that's gonna know when it's dark enough to turn your headlights on and off. So you should never ever have to use this. You can absolutely turn these on, which you can see your gauges will dim at night. That Bluetooth app, you can actually go in there and change those brightnesses as well. But if that sensor for some reason, like it's starting to get dark and it hasn't kicked on yet for whatever reason, then you can just pull these. First notch right there is your park lights, and then all the way out would be your headlights. We've aimed all those things correctly, and tested all that stuff, so it should be good. So these kind of override the little eyeball. If you're driving and the little eyeball up there decides that it wants the headlights on, and for some reason you don't want the headlights on, there is a little black button right there. And when I push that button, it cancels that little eye right there, and so it would turn your headlights off. If I want to turn them back on, I just push that little button right there. You can see it. I just push that little button again, and it turns that little eyeball back on, and if it's dark enough, your headlights will come on. Again, you can always override everything with the manual knob. This lever right here is to open the cowl flap that's out there. So these cars didn't have air conditioning originally, so that was your fresh air vent. With air conditioning now, that will freeze you out. I doubt you're ever going to open that, but we thought it's kind of cool, so we put it back in here. Here's a little microphone right here for your hands-free calling. All that is built into your Wonderbar radio. So all that stuff It looks just like the original, but now you can see that everything is digital. You're going to have all the manuals. I would definitely recommend reading. Probably not going to hear any bass through the phone, but I can feel it. So that's Bluetooth. That's coming from my phone right now. But yeah, you got the original Wonderbar look, and then you have, it'll tell you the song, it'll tell you all that stuff. You got all that stuff built in. If somebody was to call my phone right now, the volume would come way down low on this automatically, and I can answer it on my phone, and hands-free I can talk while I'm driving. And then when I'm done, I just reach over and I hit the end call on my button, and the volume of the stereo will come back up to where it was before the phone call came in. So just like a modern car, all that works. You've got your little dome light under here, and there's your home link controls. So you can preset garage doors, gates, all that stuff into those 3 buttons. So all that's there. Your interior lighting is all LED. So everything it's underneath your dash. You can see all that theater dims out. It's very nice. All the colors on the under dash and the under dash pad light are all the same Kelvin temperature, so that all the lighting matches correctly. Power windows, they didn't have power windows in 58, so I don't want to put some ugly modern power window switch. These are the original manual window cranks, but now you just push them up, push them down, and then your power windows are run off of those switches. So both sides, very nice. All that is power now using the micro switches behind these cranks. Okay, opening the door, obviously pretty self-explanatory, just like that. Manual locks right here. You have power locks on your key fob, but if for whatever reason you can use your hands and do those. Horn, all that, pretty self-explanatory. You have 2 kicker speakers up here into the original dash area. You have some larger component kicker speakers. Actually, those are Morel speakers. They're slimline so that the kick panels can still stay flat. Really nice speakers up in there. The kickers up here, they make a very small speaker where it's actually, we build a custom plate, and it has 2 4-inch nice tweeters there that reflect the sound off the windshield and come right at you. The sound staging is really nice. And then I told you the subwoofer is actually behind this into that compartment, and sounds great, fills the whole car up with sound. You can actually feel the bass in your back a little bit. And then air conditioning. All right, so this was the original controls for the air conditioning. They were big cables. Let's kill our radio here. Let's hold that button down. Originally, these were big cables that you pulled out. Now everything, you can hear, I can crank that thing up, and it will freeze you out. Okay, so you've got digital clocks in your radio, you got digital clocks in your gauges. So we got rid of the old clock that was here, and we added an air vent. The driver actually has a set of air vents right here in front of you, and then you also have an extra one here that can be used for whoever needs it. And then the passenger has a set of them as well. So this one here is your blower speed. And then this one is to go from vents to floor to defrost. You've got defrost vents up here now. So you can blend those. It doesn't have to be just vent or just defrost. You can have defrost and vent and floor, you know, whatever configuration. You do that with this lever. And then this one right here is your temperature. Okay, so cold and then hot. That's how you're gonna change that. This is vintage air in this car, and it is amazing. Super hot in the winter time and super cold in the summer. You're really gonna enjoy that. Parking brake, self-explanatory. Push the button to disengage it. Let's see. You got the turn signals built in here. Obviously, you have them in your gauge cluster. Let's go right blinker. All that stuff's LED. Pretty much everything is LED. I really think that's pretty much it. Your shifter, you're gonna push the lever down, and that's how you will shift through your automatic gears. That is correct. This is a modern transmission, so you have the overdrive. So we remade this so that it matches the transmission that you actually have. An ashtray that will never get used, but it gives you that nice retro look. I pretty much think that is everything. I am obviously available to you whenever. If you have a question or anything like that, then shoot me an email and I can point you in the right direction. We're gonna give you a packet that has all the manuals and all those things in there. So that will probably answer most of your questions, but we're always here and can point you in the right directions, or even send you a link to a manual that you can't find or isn't helpful. We can help you with that. So, man, this is one of my favorite cars that we've ever built. I'm really, really proud of this car. This car gets looks like you can't believe. Corvette magazine is going to feature this car. We've already done the photo shoot for it. So I hope you enjoy it. I know the only thing that you really need to think about is when you go and you get fuel. Speaking of that, let's look at that. When you get fuel, you better plan about 30 minutes because everybody's going to want to look at your car and ask you questions. And then watch out for people driving around you trying to take pictures because they'll try to run into you. So fuel, originally it was here, and then people would go to get out of the car and they put their hand right there to press themselves out because these cars are low, and it would bend that, and then it would mess the paint up when they opened it. So we also relocated the fuel tank from here into the back. And so now instead of filling it here, you've got this nice little clean, it pops right open when you push it like a modern car. And then you've got the push through gas fill, just like that. You can unscrew this like a normal cap and open that up if you need a larger hole. I'm not really sure what the pump handles look like in Japan. So you do have that option to pull that off if you need to, or you may just be able to go right through the little trap door there. And then when you're done, you just close it right up. So pops open and then closes right up. And everything, I mean, even that gas cap was body work to this car. Look at that. It's insane. Like, you can't even hardly see it because it fits so perfect. And the gaps around it match all the trunk and door gaps and all that. So, like I said, super proud of this car. I think it's going to blow your mind when you drive it. I hope to hear some feedback from you after you drive it for a little bit, and best wishes.